So much got taken away, we still have so much to offer. Today, India is the only country in the world that can sell emotion. And that is what I want to say.
Okay.
When people come into my hotel, they should kiss my ground. Their soul should stir. They should have water in their eyes. This is the emotion. There is enough wealth, but there is no equidistribution. There is enough food, but there is no equidistribution. This is what we have to work on. I believe the business that I do is working on that, to give them an opportunity to rise above and to equate with the people. I went to France. First, I learned to love my country. We think we have to love only parents, sisters, brothers, yours. No. I learned to love the country from the French people. For them, their country is most important. I went there, TN Session made me sit there. I sat in one corner. Periva was sleeping, I went off to sleep. Then suddenly he woke up after 8 hours.
Hi friends, we would like you to subscribe and also press the bell icon so that you will get the notifications from YouTube.
Hello viewers, welcome to Fountainhead Veda. We have been traveling with gurus, corporate heads and celebrities to find out the excellence in them or the qualities of excellence in them. Normally we look at the qualities only in the three areas, that is endurance, the skill and the enthusiasm. So either two of these qualities are there with them or all the three are with them. But we also got to know from the chairman of Shriram Group, it was very clear. He was saying people are born with such qualities and it is in genetics. So some others said like it comes with the behavioral patterns through the living or the experience in life. So we also had a very latest with the psychologist, which is Manju. She was explaining, yes, there are some qualities which can come from genetics, but how you grow. So I thought we will go into a very nice area, how to keep others happy. Can anybody's life can be only that? I have seen very few people who enjoys the others' enjoyment, or the others who are able to relax in a place if he can create a location. So I have a friend, Steve Borgia, his name is. He will explain to you how his name Steve Borgia came in. And he is the one who created the best leisure resorts along with Sterling Group as well as on his own. It's called Indecor. He will also explain why that name came about. And he has been, and whenever I have a chat with him once in 5 years, more closely asking him what he is currently doing. This time when I met, he said he is creating something called a rural development through tourism. So it was very interesting. I thought this is an NGO job. The government should have done all this, but he has been a real torchbearer for our country to create the rural tourism. That has really inspired me to have a chat with Steve. So welcome Steve. Thanks Steve for joining us. And before me introducing or whatever it is, I thought you can just tell about your life story itself. That itself is a very encouraging and exciting whenever I speak to you, so that our viewers also can have at least a taste of that excitement.
I seem to be in a place where I know where I am, but where I am going to be is always a question mark. Right now, what do? I am busy selling happiness to all those who come to my hotels. Happiness through tourism.
Sure.
But primarily, why I got into tourism, I was not meant to be a hotelier. I was not meant to be a tourism person. I studied in a school called Padma Shishadri in Chennai, full of Vedas, yoga, meditation, very Indian education. I really appreciate that lady, Mrs. Y.G. Parthasarathy. But what was very beautiful was she taught me how to be a responsible Indian. This got inculcated. And the Kappalottiya Tamilan, Vavo, Chidambaram Pillai, இதெல்லாம் ஒரு 100 தடவை பார்த்துருப்போம் அந்த சினிமாவை. பார்த்து that patriotism also got inbuilt. But when we are in school, people used to ask me, what would you do when you grow up? When we have guests, we'll have a lot of foreign guests, cinema guests. What will you do when you grow up? Everybody will say engineer, doctor, postman, because a postman had a cycle. I would say I want to be a Maharaja. And everybody would laugh. Everybody attributed it to money, to be a Maharaja. For me, to be a Maharaja was to keep the place happy, to build temples, to build beautiful palaces, gardens, to have deer, peacock, and to make everybody happy. Beyond all that, to feed everybody. That was my idea of being a Maharaja. Fortunately for me, after 40 years, that has become my business. I restore villages, I build palaces, I build schools, schools, I renovate temples, I uphold culture, I feed local people. And what business do? I run heritage hotels. And these are not the typical heritage hotels. If some 4 or 5 villages are dilapidated beyond repair, I buy out those villages, no people there. I restore that village and convert that into a luxury hotel. Typical is Inteco Hotel Swamimalai in Kumbakonam near Tanjore. Today, that hotel has the distinction. It used to be the place where Shankaracharya Mahaperiva used to live.
Yeah.
Today, that hotel has a distinction because of that hotel. The per capita income in that area went from $4.03 US in 1992 to well over $400 today. That is rural development for me. No hunger, no unemployment. All girls' schools have a toilet. By any chance, Kumbakonam is the cleanest town in India. Cleanest.
Yeah.
In spite of being a temple town. Its railway station has already been declared the cleanest railway station. It's the only town to have 57 air-conditioned bus stops with ATMs attached. Treats 100% solid waste, generates electricity. Electricity costs less in that town. No manual scavenging. And it is a phenomenal town. It should be the spiritual capital of India. So I built hotel there. The hotel has been partly responsible for these influences. So this is what is really rural development. It's not going and feeding people, giving alms. That is beggary. But this is making the people responsible. I was highly influenced by what Arinyar Anna said. Go to the villages. If your country is developed, the quality of your villages should forecast that. Go to your villages, start with what they know, do with what they have. What a beautiful statement.
Right.
So we went there, we built these hotels, employed all the people. The hotel uses only what the local people produce. You will eat only the vegetables what they produce. You will wear clothes that they produce. Your building material is from there. This doesn't mean it is rustic. No, it's 7-star luxury. I can give any branded hotel run for their money. And services 99.9% provided by local people. I have connected the international market with the local need. Somebody comes, oh, I want to climb this coconut tree. Please teach him how to climb a coconut tree and we charge $25. You want to pluck a coconut and drink it without a plastic straw, another $25. He pays, they negotiate and they pay immediately. Oh, I want to ride a bullock cart. You have to be taught. $100. He gives that man. The village man who rides a bullock cart. We give them a license to ride a bullock cart.
Okay.
You want to eat fish curry rice? Go to a village house. Go to the market, buy the fish, come back in a bus. So we have integrated the village life with the tourist, and that is tourism. If tourism cannot give anything to the local community, it is not fair tourism, it is an exploitative tourism. Imagine instead of building a hotel which does all this, I had built a cement factory and polluted that village. I would have polluted their water, they polluted their ground soil, everything. That is exploited. They don't need cement. We taught people to be indigenous. So this is real tourism, and I believe this is one way in which rural India should develop and go sky high. I also believe that India has phenomenal opportunity. We don't have to worry. The Dutch came, the Mongols came, the Chinese came, the Portuguese came, the English came, the French came. They all took so much. In fact, near London, there's a museum, stolen treasures from India, Lord Robert Clive. Shameful, but they are proud. Let them be. So much got taken away, we still have so much to offer. Today, India is the only country in the world that can sell emotion. And that is what I want to sell.
Okay.
When people come into my hotel, they should kiss my ground. Their soul should stir. They should have water in their eyes. This is the emotion. We speak easily in about 2,000 languages. We write in about 50. We taught the world how to count 1 to 10. A small boy called Ramanujam in a Kumbakonam town. We flew the first airmail in the world. At that time, we were called underdeveloped people. The world felt guilty that they called us developing country. Today, nobody can say these languages. So we got to be extremely proud. We got to make the young generation extremely proud of this country. But the fact is, I have not seen people as rich as people in India and people as poor as people in India.
Okay.
This intermittent
extreme, yeah.
gap should reduce. I don't also like there is enough wealth, but there is no equidistribution. There is enough food, but there is no equidistribution. This is what we have to work on. I believe the business that I do is working on that, to give them an opportunity to rise above and to equate with the people. This has to go a long way.
Sure.
The government has to go a long way. Imagine if each one of us educated, we come to urban areas, we go to America, we go to Europe, can one in that crowd can go back to his native village. The native village is taken care of. When I went to Swami Malay, I have nothing to do with Swami Malay, I have nothing to do with Kumbakonam.
So that's why I was about to ask you, how did you land up there? Or before that, can you say a few things about how did you get this, as I said, no, enthusiasm and endurance, and as well as the skill, right? So how did you manage to get this enthusiasm? You said the school created that kind of enthusiasm for you in life.
I think I was I won't call myself a dull child. I was not an intelligent child. I found it extremely difficult to pass all the subjects. Thanks to Mrs. YGP, I did very well in matriculation exams and move ahead with life, because education was not the most important thing. The world was more important.
So how did you start getting to face the world after that?
But I was always concerned about the world. Always, even as a child. In summer, I'll go do Tannir Pandal to give water to people on a summer who are walking on the road. Take old chapel from people who have too many chapels and distribute it on Sterling Road for people so that their feet doesn't get burnt. All these things I would do. In winter, collect bed sheets, put it on my cycle, go around distributing. But where the change came was that thought that I want to be a Maharaja, where I want to do this. So I wanted to be a filmmaker actually, career-wise, and I tried that. At that time, my grandfather was highly displeased with me. Those days to be in movies was a bad thing, was a taboo. So he said, no, I want you to be an IAS officer, I want you to write UPSC, Public Service Commission. So just like that, to please him, I wrote. I got through. Then the VO say the interview came, and finally I had to land up in Mussoorie for training. Mr. T.N. Seshan was there. He groomed me, he was very excited about the way I talk, and especially because I was in Tamil Nadu. But when I was there, I got this admission in beautiful university in Lyon in France. I jumped the wall. Without even telling him, I ran away. And life changed. I went to France. First, I learned to love my country. We think we have to love only parents, sisters, brothers, yours. No. I learned to love the country from the French people. For them, their country is most important. 2, I finished my cinematography, and then I realized, boy, this is not the end of life. There's an MBA program going. I used to do part-time. Then I got into World Bank, then UNICEF. But I always felt guilty that I was not coming back to my country to work for my people. UN had a bad policy that you cannot work in your country, you have to work in another country. So after 1 year of jumping from Mussoorie, I came back. I said, I must go meet this man T.N. Seshan and say, sorry boss, I had to do this. So I called up his house and they said he's in Kumbakonam. I have not heard about Kumbakonam. Dictionary la pata Kumbakonam na fraud. I said, how can we be so rude to a people of town? I understood what their fraud meant. So I went to Kumbakonam, Swami Malai, where he was with Mahaperiyava. There was a big darshan going on, 2,000 people. T.N. Seshan called me and made me sit very close to Mahaperiyava. But Mahaperiyava was sleeping, meditating perhaps. I was tired, I slept. I had to cross through a village where I could see broken structures, dilapidated like a war zone, broken mosques, broken temple. As I was walking, I thought of something. If all this can be rewound to another 100 years and bring the whole world here like Mahabharata village and sell the essence of this country, which is peace, joy and happiness. Or a passing thought. I went there, T.N. Seshan made me sit there, I sat in one corner, Periyava was sleeping, I went off to sleep. Then suddenly he woke up after 8 hours. He called me. I crawled and went just about 10 feet. I could feel that pulsating energy of that man. Second time I felt that. First time was when I was with Mother Teresa. So he said, Nenekadingo, Mattugo.
Hi friends, we would like you to subscribe and also press the bell icon so that you will get the notifications from YouTube.